the flank. Like a baller, we go down the flank. You're cheap, pretty young, get in your tank. But them new dance, you know where people can't push. Give them a run, dance, give them a run. Give them a run, we are the girls that have come to. Give them a run, give them a run. Give them a run, we are the girls that have come to. I've been loved that before, yeah, but I've never seen a dance like this. I've been loved that before, yeah, but I don't wanna come top the list. Alright.
Yo, what is up, people? What is going on? We are back with episode 5 of Walking Dead, Dead City, and I got my boy here, Deej. Deej, what's up? Tell the people where they can find you, sir.
You can find me over on my channel called Deej Odyssey, where I just do, lately, killing zombies. Yeah, that's where you can find me. And over with Chris Knight, the Real Review 3000 on Hunt Stars channel, doing Name That Tune and Jackbox Game Nights.
Yeah, and if you guys haven't checked that out, you got to make sure you check it out, man. I went on there one time and I did Name That Tune with these guys, and I kid you not, there was like two bars, and they were buzzing in. I know the song and getting it right. I was way out of my league on that one, but definitely fun. Jackbox Game Nights, also something fun too. So make sure to check it out. Deej's channel is in the description, so can check them out and there. But we are here to talk about episode 5 of The Walking Dead. We got one more episode left, which Deej said dropped, but for some reason I don't have it, so I didn't get to see episode 6 yet. So as soon as I do, we'll get the review out for that one. But Deej, what were your overall thoughts of episode 5?
Episode 5, I'm just calling a filler episode. It was okay, but not as great as the first 4. Get a little more backstory on the lawman. Get to see how shady Maggie can be.
Mm-hmm. That is correct, and we will get into all of that. I personally, I'm with you. I agree with you on that one. I think it was a filler episode because we got a lot of backstory. You know, we found out about the Borats, that new female that's there. So it seems like she's the one that's leading the Croats group. I'm pretty sure she was leading the way she talked to him, right? So it's a lot of backstory. For 6 episodes, I guess it's okay because you needed to get into some of that stuff. But I just would have liked maybe if they saved that for like a season 2 or something, you know? But I guess it's okay that we got that. I think the last episode is going to be epic. Deej already seen it. Like I said before, I didn't get to watch it yet, but I'm pretty sure it's going to be good.
And I'm keeping my mouth shut about it because he hasn't seen it yet.
That is correct. And there were a few things, which we'll get into, that I was kind of hoping wasn't the case, but we did find out in episode 5 that it actually was the case. So Deej, what were your positives in this episode?
Positives. Well, it wasn't the last few seasons of The Walking Dead. I will give it that positive. I kind of liked finding a little bit more about backstory with the lawman.
Mm-hmm.
I like that Negan actually is still attempting to show him that not the same a-hole that everybody makes him out to be, even though there's times when
he can be,
is being the a-hole.
Yeah.
Especially throwing him in at a zombie to try to escape.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Throw him at a walker to try to escape, but then turns around and helps him.
Yep. And I kind of knew that was coming, though. I had a feeling Negan was going to try to do something to escape, and sure enough, you know, they get into that horde of zombies coming at them, and Negan runs off, hides a bit, and then throws a zombie in front of him. But again, like we said, like Negan's trying to change, right? So I thought, yeah, Negan probably would help him. And even when Negan was like, listen, man, I'm going to help you, but you're going to stop that taking me back to New Babylon shit. And the guy didn't really answer him, but Negan still decided he's going to help him. So I like that. I like what they're doing with Negan. I always have, you know.
Definitely better than what they've been doing with Maggie on the
Absolutely. So explain to them what they're doing with Maggie that's annoying you.
Well, the biggest thing is we find out that Maggie's lying this whole time, and she didn't have all the grain stolen by the Croat because the girl noticed that the grain bin is completely full.
Hmm.
So there is
And
no grain.
And last week, I think I called that. I was like, there's something with it. I was like, I hope Maggie's not, trying to do it for a different reason, like set Negan up, And sure enough, we come to find out that the Croat did everything because they wanted Negan so that Negan would help build their community, right? Basically, what we find out is that they want to build a new community and they want Negan to pretty much run it. But it seems like even if they were to get Negan, that chick would still be in the lead, and that's kind of not Negan. You know what I mean? Negan needs to run the whole thing, so you better
No,
be
but
careful what you wish for.
if
Yeah, go ahead.
Negan's really Negan, then like he showed in episode 2, she ain't gonna be running nothing for long.
Right, exactly. Negan would kill her and take over everything. You know what I mean? So it doesn't look like Negan is gonna go down that path. But again, it's like 6 episodes. We have hopefully another season to explain a lot more things. So that will be interesting to figure out. I'm just gonna read the plot here real quick for the people that are watching. So season 5 is called "The Stories We Tell Ourselves," and in flashbacks, Ginny discovers that Maggie is lying about the bricks grain being stolen, while the Croat kidnaps Hershel and demands Negan in exchange for his return. And when I was reading this earlier, I'm like, wait, they talk about that at the beginning of the synopsis, but we don't find out that information until the end. So it was just funny that they put it right there in the beginning, but I guess whatever. It says in the present, the Croat visits the Dama, who re, 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 reiterates their need for Negan to protect their future. As they make their way through Manhattan, Negan and Pearl get to know each other, with Negan revealing the reason for his murders. His beliefs shaken by the recent events, Pearl opens up to Negan about his brother Joel and Pearl's growing doubts about what he's doing. Maggie, who is revealed to have kept Ginny's toy rather than burning it, deduces that Thomas has sold out the tribe, resulting in the attack on their hideout and the ambush at Madison Square Garden. Thomas admits that he made a deal with the Croat, who had promised Thomas a boat and a chance for a better life for his family on the mainland. Horrifying Amira, although Maggie is more sympathetic in the sewers, Amira and Thomas fall victim to walkers, but Maggie and Ginny manage to escape after Maggie successfully fights off a massive fused together walker. On the surface, Ginny fires a flare in the air, which is spotted by Negan. So that's one thing that I kind of I kind of started to suspect a little that someone did set it up, and to find out that it was Tomas that set that up, I was like, okay, that kind of makes sense why they got um, caught like that. What did you think about that?
I I didn't really see it super coming, but then after they'd made the statement, they thought the other guy that Negan had dealt with in the kitchen
Mm-hmm.
might have been the one that was feeding information. Then I kind of suspected, nah, maybe it's this other dude. But this was one of the parts that I had a main problem with.
Mm-hmm.
We're going through the sewer system. We have to wear masks because of all the methane.
Mm-hmm.
Why are we sitting down on top of
Dead
walkers
zombies, yeah.
when they technically might not be dead? They
Mm-hmm.
just might be a little bit dead.
Mm-hmm.
Why are we taking a break and sitting down there and having a break?
I agree, 100%.
And
It's
I also didn't
yeah,
like the fact that after those two were offed, why Maggie didn't take the air canister.
yeah. I know, right?
She already knows that she's having hallucinations and from all the methane. Why didn't she just take that damn mask and breathe some good air in to continue the way instead of continually sucking in methane?
I agree with you 100%. It made no sense that she didn't decide to take the mask with her at that point. And you know what's funny too? Because I watched it twice, right? And the first time I watched it, I never noticed, but they actually show Tomas going in his bag and taking out the canisters, right? You could see it like in the corner of the screen. And I didn't notice that the first time I was watching it. So I'm like, the fact that Maggie noticed that, like she was on point with it, you know, which kind of made sense because she was probably figuring out how did we get caught and how did this happen? And then boom, over. So, I mean, he should have found a better way to do that, but you know, hindsight, I guess.
I just thought it was completely stupid to be sitting down taking a break.
I agree, 100%, 100%. I think it was Maggie that had passed out at one point, right? So that's probably why they decided to do it as well. But you're right. Like I wouldn't have been sitting down there on them zombies. First off, they looked nasty, right? They looked, and we already know that the only way they die is like getting stabbed in the head or something like that. You gotta, stab their brains. And those zombies didn't look like their brains were stabbed. So I agree with you.
And the smell down there, besides the methane, had to be horrible.
Facts, 100%.
That's why I get out of there as fast as possible.
Man, the minute that dude would have said, "Here, take this oxygen mask," I would have took that real quick because you're right. The smell, the methane, and everything. But I guess Maggie's trying to be tough, right? So,
just being stupid.
I think it's stupid too, as well. 100%. So we also get the Negan and Pearl stuff, which I thought that stuff was really good. You know what I mean? I still don't like the fact that Pearl, even after, or Perlie, or whatever the hell his name is, even after he got saved, he was still kind of, on the fence with Negan. Like he still has the gun to his back and lets go and stuff like that. But he sits there and he realizes, like, maybe it's not all black and white. You know what I mean? And I was like, okay, now you're starting to see certain things because he started thinking about his brother and how his brother died. So I'm like, that kind of makes sense now that you're kind of, thinking of it of a different way.
I think it also hit him on what Negan said to him about how they treated his family and why he went with retribution.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And Negan said, you would have done the same thing, which probably in a situation like that, most men would, right? Like, you hurt my wife, you raped her, I'm going to go and I'm going to kill your ass, right? And that's what Negan did. So I think at that point, you're right, that the Marshal was like, you know what, maybe it's not all black and white. And then he has his own story, which he tells about his brother and how his brother attacked his mom, and he had to go set his brother straight, but then, had to leave him behind in Manhattan there. So I think that's a good part. Now, you've seen episode 6, so which I think, and I'll just put this out there, I do think that the Marshal is actually going to help Negan in some sort of way. You know what I mean? Maybe he's going to forgive Negan for what he did, or understandable. I don't know yet, but those are the things that I'm coming up with.
And I'm not going to answer that question.
Good. Because the last week you didn't answer questions either. And then I was actually surprised when Simon came up. So that was good. But yeah, I think that
I will say nobody from the past pops up in this episode. 6. Nobody from the past.
Are there any flashbacks in it? Or
no flashbacks.
No flashbacks?
No flashbacks at all. Okay. So
Okay. And it's an hour long, right? Like the rest of them?
Yep. It's an hour long.
Cool. What's up, True Skills? How you doing, man? Going on? We're just talking some Walking Dead here with Deej. I don't know if you're watching it, but I think it's a really good show. I've been trying to get Terrence to watch it. Terrence watched the first episode. And he's like, he usually likes to watch it with his friends, so he never got a chance to finish the rest. But I'm like, you got to watch it, man. At least episode 2, where we get like old flashback Negan. Like, you got to watch that episode. And then I think if that, you'll be like really hooked in.
You have to watch it. You have to watch episode 4 too, just to see Simon.
Oh, absolutely, 100%. I think
Even
personally, yeah.
Simon was such an a-hole in the show. I love that character too. So
Mm-hmm.
that's
Oh,
what made it good. Yeah, Simon.
Yeah, Simon in The Walking Dead was fire. I liked him too. You know what I mean? Like him and Negan were the best ones from the Saviors, to be honest with you. And how it ended up turning out for him at the end, he wasn't really trusting Dwight, but Negan kind of was, and it was just really good. I like seeing Simon again, you know, and I do hope they show him again. Well, maybe in more flashbacks he comes back, or I don't know. I don't know what they'll do with a season 2. Said I got to check it out. I wanted to ask you what you think of Nick Fury and the non-Avenger series. I'll talk about that in a minute. I think it's fine. I think Secret Invasion is good. I'm enjoying it. We do a roundtable on Sunday, so if you want to check that out, you can come through, check that out, and hear what everybody has to say about it. But I'm enjoying the series. What about you, Deej? Are you enjoying Secret Invasion?
Still haven't watched it yet.
Oh, yeah, watch it. Okay. Is it because you just didn't have time, or you're done with Marvel stuff?
I really didn't have the time, and most of the stuff Marvel's been putting out's been really disappointing lately.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. 100% it has been, but this show is really good. Um, I think it's up on the level of some of the best Marvel shows out there. I liked Falcon and Winter Soldier, and I think this is the best one so far for me. It's not bad. Yeah, no, it's not bad at all. But you definitely got to check out The Walking Dead, right? Which is what we're talking about. So you got to check it out. What did you think about that walker that Maggie had to fight?
Okay, parts that one, while it looks cool, kind of unbelievable.
Absolutely.
While it does make it look cool, I mean, come on, a couple of walkers that try to crawl through another walker and it becomes, no, that thing would have ripped apart long ago, fell apart, it wouldn't have held together. Nah, that was a little too unbelievable.
I agree with you 100%. And I watched the showrunner talking about it, right? And he's saying like, oh, he always wanted to like do that and see what it would be like. But I'm like, but that kind of it doesn't really make sense to the Walking Dead kind of show. You know what I mean? Like,
no, because actually, what person can you think of right now has enough room on their body for two other walkers to try to crawl through?
Facts. 100%. And then where was the rest of their bodies? You know what I mean? Because it looked like it was one body with a couple of hands and a head. I didn't see no other legs than the two that was the body. So it was kind of like, yeah, that don't make sense.
It was somebody just playing out their fantasy when they made that one because it just not possible.
Thought it looked cool or whatever, you know what I mean? They have one scene where they show a head and it looks like it's coming through the chest or something like that. And I'm like, yeah, you watched a lot of Aliens back in the day, because that's exactly where you got that kind of visual from. But I'm with you. I don't think it really meshed with the zombies part of it. You just need to have regular zombies. That's it.
And as doped out as she was on all the methane fumes, she wouldn't have had the wherewithal to even fight that thing. When it fell on top of her, she would have been over with, done.
100%. Because, like you said, there was like 3 or 4 zombies hooked together, right? So if one zombie is probably heavy, imagine what 4 of them together would be like. But she was holding it up and she was stabbing the heads and stuff like that. And I was like, yeah, that's a little bit unbelievable. I guess you're trying to make Maggie be a badass, right? But at the same time, I'm just like, meh. Now, the only issue I had, well, not really an issue because I watched it again and I understood how she found out that Maggie was lying. But what made her go look for the grain? You know what I mean? Like, what made her decide to go look for the grain? And I don't know. It was just weird that she decided to do that. But
well, I don't know. Curiosity might get the better of you. If you were taken into a new community, you'd want to find out what they're all about and snoop around.
Yeah, you're right. Probably would. But I mean, that would have to mean that I maybe don't trust them from the beginning, right? And I didn't get the vibe that, she didn't really trust them, especially knowing how Negan was like, you got to go with her and don't worry, you'll be safe. So Negan gave pretty much his stamp of approval. But I can understand. I guess I can understand why she did that. But now it explains why she ended up leaving there and going to look for Negan. But again, like I said, and I haven't seen episode 6 yet, and I still think that, and you said kind of he did. So I do think that Negan knew all the time that Maggie was not being straightforward with him. You know what I mean? I believe
You'll get a good plot twist in episode 6 too.
Oh, really?
Yep.
I always love a good plot twist, that's for sure. So that's be interesting. But yeah, I always thought that, Maggie kind of acting funny. And then we find out that the Croat actually kidnapped Hershel to get Maggie. But my issue is all she had to do was tell Negan the truth, because we know through The Walking Dead how much Negan cares about kids, right? Cared about Carl, cared about Judith. So if she would have just said, listen, and he saved Hershel, right? So if she
Yep.
would have just said, hey, listen, Negan, this guy, the Croat, you might know him or whatever, he took so and so, and I need your help. I'm sure Negan would have helped her. She didn't really have to lie to him, but I guess at the same time, she's still harping on Negan killing Glenn. So,
Though that really doesn't make sense either, because the last episode of The Walking Dead, we had her say that she didn't forgive him,
yeah,
but she was
getting
willing
there.
to let it go,
Yeah,
and then all of a sudden she's back to wanting revenge.
exactly. That's what I was saying. You know what I mean? It's like, oh, now it's like we're gonna get Negan, and then she's like, when she was talking to Ginny, she's like, oh, you don't know what kind of monster he is, and you stay around him long enough, and you'll see. But she was around Negan a lot for those last couple of seasons to know that Negan is not that monster anymore.
Which worked out to what, 5-6 year timeline during those last couple of seasons, because there was
Yeah,
time jumps.
yeah,
So she was around him quite often.
yeah, absolutely, absolutely, right. So she would have known that he changed. That's why I said, even like when I watched the first episode, I was like, I kind of find that funny, that all of a sudden she's on this I can't stand Negan no more vibe. Just remember, like, I know Negan did some messed up shit, killed Glenn and stuff, but Negan also saved Hershel. You know what I mean?
Well, he saved her too.
Yeah, and he saved her too as well. Right, exactly. But he also did try to kill her at one point too, because remember when they were in the I think it was like the train station or whatever, and
Well,
Maggie couldn't get
that
it.
was kind of understandable, because she was
He,
at that point trying to set him up.
yeah, yeah, yeah. He already said, like, it's either gonna be her or me, you know what I mean? And she's trying to kill me basically. And that's why she wanted Negan on that journey with them. But again, like you said, during that whole time, Negan proved himself to her. And it seemed like Negan was making a point to try and prove himself to her, but she ended up going straight back to, I hate him and this and that. But I think it's more because I guess at one point she says her and Hershel weren't having a very good mother-son relationship. So I guess maybe that could be the reason. And then when they're having their arguments, she's like, oh, if your father was here, or, you know what I mean? If Glenn was here, maybe we wouldn't have this. So I can maybe understand why she would have resentment still. But, at the same time, I think because of what Negan did, saving Hershel and her, she would have at least came at him different, or at least I think she should have. But that's just my opinion on that one. What else happened in this episode? Okay, so we also, I guess, I always thought the Croat was the one in charge, but then he goes and meets this woman, and I think her name is Dama or whatever the hell they called her, and she pretty much seems to be running everything, right? Because she cursed him, she yelled at him, you know what I mean, and he pretty much bowed down to her. and had to tell her straight up that Negan is not going to get off the island. What did you think about her character? What did you think about that part of it?
Well, with her, she seems to be the top dog.
Mm-hmm.
But is she really?
That's the question.
I guess you have to wait until episode 6.
Oh, so you see, so there's something in episode 6 that tells us. So now I know there's more than her. Okay, so she's probably like maybe a higher lieutenant than he is, or something like that.
No, I can't answer that, but you're kind of off the track on that one. But
I got you. Okay, well, I'll wait and see. That'll be interesting.
it's just part of all those plot twists that I keep saying that it's gonna end up having to make this a season 2 series.
Well, if they do, I'm down for it. 100%, I'm down for it. I've always been a fan of The Walking Dead. I think the more Walking Dead, the better. So if you want to give me a season 2, and especially if it's good stuff, you know what I mean? If it's done well, I know a lot of people fell off with a couple of seasons of The Walking Dead. I still enjoyed it pretty much.
I stayed with it.
You did? Yeah, me too.
Sure,
Yeah.
Some of it got a little bit boring and repetitive, but there was still enough there that kept me interested.
Absolutely, me too, 100%. So that's what I'm saying. Like, if they give me more of that, then I will definitely be satisfied.
Though I do get pissed off when they kill off my favorite characters over and over and over, and leave boring ones alive.
So who were the characters that you were pissed off that they killed?
Well, I knew it was coming, but the first one I really liked was the governor.
Oh yeah, okay. Good villain.
I was a little upset when they killed Tara off. I was really upset.
Tara, yeah.
I was really upset when they killed Abraham.
Oh, okay. You like Abraham?
Abraham had all them funny sayings like mixing the Bisquick and everything else. When he found out Maggie was pregnant. He was one of my favorites. And then the ones that really annoyed me, like Rosita.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Left her clear to the end. She annoyed the hell out of me all through The Walking Dead while she was there.
I agree. I wasn't a huge fan of her character either. That's why when she died, I was like, okay, like that's the death we have. Because I thought the last season of The Walking Dead, there was going to be like some major deaths, but it was only really Rosita and that other dude. I can't remember what his name was. The one that plays the harmonica.
Yeah, and he wasn't really that big of a main character.
Anyway. Yeah, exactly. Right. So I thought there would have been more deaths than that, but okay, whatever. It is what it is. I think they're trying to save some of these characters. You know, we got the Daryl show coming up next, so we don't know who's going to pop up in that.
Well, I don't see anybody really popping up in that one since he's in Europe.
Yeah, neither do I, but I'm thinking maybe flashbacks like this one.
Maybe.
You know what I mean? Maybe flashbacks. We get a few flashbacks in that. Then we got the Rick and Michonne. No telling who's going to pop up in that one.
I think that one, I'm hoping at the end of it, they take him back and they bring a whole bunch of the regulars in.
Me too.
For a final show.
Me too, 100%. For the final episode, Rick goes back to one of the settlements and meets everybody back, and he shows everybody that he's alive, gets to be reunited with Judith. You know, all that stuff will be great. So I can't wait to see what they do with that. But I think the Daryl show is next.
Yeah, I think the Daryl show is next. They're saving the Rick and Michonne one for the final. But after episode 6, I don't think it's going to be the final of these.
What do you mean?
Well, I see the Dead City one going to season 2.
Oh, yeah. I think it should, because Fear the Walking Dead is finished. I don't know if they're still doing Beyond the Walking Dead.
No, Beyond World Beyond ended after only 2 seasons.
It ended after 2, right? Yeah. So they don't have those shows anymore. So if you want to get Walking Dead on there, you're gonna have to do it. Hopefully,
I think they're supposed to come back with the anthology for a second run.
Oh, okay, that's good. So I don't mind that too. Give us the second season of the anthology one, and also, hopefully the Daryl is not just one little season, like it's a full series, with a multiple seasons. So hopefully that goes through too.
Well, it's hard to pack these storylines they're doing with just 6 episodes.
I agree, 100%. That's why when I saw this one, I was like, it's only 6 episodes, and I'm like, okay, maybe because it's there's going to be a season 2. Because usually when they do the first season, like Fear the Walking Dead, I think only had 6 episodes season 1, and I think the original Walking Dead only had like 6 episodes in season 1 as well too, right? So I'm like, okay, so if they do that and give us a season 2, I'll be satisfied with it. Plus, to me, like the more I get of Negan, the better. You know what I mean? Like I think that's one of the best characters in The Walking Dead, and you got to see a lot of growth from him as well throughout this series. He went from being that I'll kill you kind of guy to being now he's gonna save his people and wants to be good and does good stuff and saving kids and stuff like that. So I like that, and I hope I get to see more of that. So what would you give your grade for this episode?
A B.
Give it a B. All right.
It was just so underwhelming compared to the first 4.
No, I agree with you 100%. I'm gonna give it a B too, because I think, like you said, it was a filler episode where you just got little backstories to here and that. Like nothing much really happened. The only thing that really happened in this is we find out why Maggie's doing what she's doing. But other than that, there was really no huge conflicts or anything like that. So I'm gonna give it a B too.
Yeah, all we found out is why Maggie was doing it and that the Croat works for somebody.
Exactly. So in season 6, episode 6, like Deej said, we find out a little bit more. Plus, we also get more twists and turns in it, which I'm excited to see. So,
well, you get a few twists and turns.
I can't wait for that. I've been looking for this show. Like I'm looking for it. I keep refreshing my Prime, and I'm like, come on, man, put it up there, and they still haven't put it up there. So I'm gonna have to figure out somewhere else to find.
As soon as I got done watching Strange New Worlds last night, I went to AMC Plus and it was there. I was just too tired to stay up that late to watch it. I had to sleep.
No, I got you 100%. Was this episode of Strange New World good?
It was better than pretty much all the episodes this season, but it's still, I mean, come on. This one had Captain Kirk on the Enterprise. Well, not Captain yet, but
James really?
On the Enterprise. Okay. This one, it just didn't fit right.
Well, that one where they went to Toronto was good. I like that one.
See, I hated it because it completely screwed up the entire canon.
Oh yeah, with the con stuff, right?
Yeah, the whole con stuff screwed the whole canon over. It completely undermined everything from TOS.
Yeah, I got you. Yeah, I can understand why a lot of Star Trek fans. But is there any Star Trek series that new one that you do like?
Nope.
Really?
Wow. I'm one of those that hated Picard season 3.
Really? I thought I enjoyed Picard season 3. I thought it was really good. But
I thought it was boring as hell and repetitive, and they just used storylines from every other sci-fi series and older Star Trek just to make an incoherent story.
Wow. Okay.
It made no sense why the Borg Queen would be working with anybody. Made no sense on how she even got in contact with them if she was stuck out in the middle of nowhere with no way to go anywhere. It just made no damn sense. But you will see in this latest episode of Strange New Worlds the fallout of the Toronto episode.
Oh, really?
Because with Kirk showing up on the Enterprise, we have the agenda of Khan still drooling after him.
Right.
Even though he has no clue what the hell she's even
talking about. Yeah, what's going on. Okay, that's interesting. Maybe when that season season is done, we'll do a little quick, review of the whole season on that one. That should be
I
really
will say it was better than any of the other episodes. At least we didn't have Pike in an apron
good. So
cooking for once.
if they weren't, like, let's say, destroying canon, would you like the show?
If they would actually come out and admit that this is a totally different universe, I could tolerate it.
I got you.
But when the writers and the heads all say that this is canon that fits with TOS, I call bullshit.
I got you. Do you like the characters?
Some I do, some I don't.
Okay. Who do you like and who don't you like?
I actually like the new engineer, Carol Kane. She's hilarious.
Okay, yeah. The little, where's she from or something like that? Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
She's some weird alien that was hiding out on Earth for centuries.
Yeah.
I do like Pike when he's not stuck in a apron cooking all the time. Spock is somewhat tolerable, even though it's hard to, because most of these characters, everything they're doing, they're going against what was set in TOS. I mean, come on, Spock already boning Nurse Chapel.
Yeah, I know, right?
That never even happened in TOS.
Yeah, I know. I don't think Spock boned anybody in TOS, did he?
Not really. And then his wife saying, "We're on a break now. Go do your own thing." No, that didn't happen either.
I got you.
It's just.
I got you.
I do like the Khan character, Khan's descendant. I kind of like her.
Okay, yeah, I think she's cool too.
I can't stand the pilot
though. Oh yeah,
Uhura,
and Aurora.
Uhura. Now that one just. She was the main focus of this episode.
Oh, okay. Well, at least she got an episode. But I think this Star Trek, Strange New World, because I've heard a lot of complaints about what people said about Discovery. You know what I mean? That they don't do episodes with the crew members and stuff like that. And I think this one does at least a good job of that.
You'll find out on this new episode. It's Uhura's fault that Spock meets Kirk.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
She's the one that introduces them.
Oh, okay. That'll be interesting. But that's not how they met originally, though.
No, and they both bond because of Kirk's brother Sam.
I got you.
Yeah.
Well, we did end up going on to some Star Trek talk, but so that's how we do sometimes. Deej gave this episode a B. I gave it a B. And as soon as I see episode 6, we will be back for the final episode of The Walking Dead. And if Deej is available for the Daryl show and the Michonne show, Rick and Michonne, I'm definitely will do the review with you if you're free to do those with me, Deej.
Yeah, hopefully it's not in the middle of picking season where I'm stuck out in the tractor.
Hopefully not at all.
David gave it a B too, so.
David gave this episode a B too?
I think we're all in all in that this was just a filler episode and not much super going on.
Absolutely, 100%, So we'll get into the final episode on the next one. He said it gave him Resident Evil vibes.
Well, yeah,
I guess I could see that with the stupid zombie there. Zombie. Yeah.
Stupid morphed zombie crap.
Yeah, we talked about that too, David, because we were like, that didn't make no sense, right? And he said Maggie gives him Jill Valentina vibes. I don't know. I think the problem with Maggie, and we said this earlier, is that she didn't come correct with Negan, and that's a big problem that I have, because I find a lot of shows do it where they build something up, like for example, Star Wars. They built up Han, Luke, and Leia to be these, great heroes. Then you had the sequel trilogies that broke them down to nothing, right? So I kind of find that these shows do that, where they build something up where it seems like, okay, Maggie's getting some trust for, like, I understand it's not going to be easy to trust Negan, 100%, right? But she was getting there. And then all of a sudden, she's not there anymore. It's like Negan's the scum of the earth again. And I was just like, okay, that kind of doesn't fit for me, you know. But other than that, I think we'll find out. I think the relationship will get better, especially if there's a season 2. So we'll see how that goes. But Deej, shout out your channel real quick. Let the people know where they can find you.
Find me over on Deej Odyssey, where I do weird and crazy stuff, and I even zombies. Yeah, and you can find me with Chris Knight, Real Review 3000, Jackbox, or Name That Tune, coming up soon.
Absolutely. David said, didn't redeem them either, just killed them off. Didn't redeem who? Who are we talking about that they didn't redeem and kill off? But yeah, come back next week, or it'll probably be for next week. I gotta find out when the show pops up, and then I'll watch it, and then I'll just message Dee, and we'll talk about the final episode. But I am Big Afford Entertainment. Y'all know where to find me. Wednesday nights on the OOC, Mondays on Chaos Central, either doing my show, Danny's show, or Chris' show, which this Monday will be Chris's show. Hopefully he'll have his PC up and running by then, but I doubt it. And we all know why if it's not, right? But at the same time, the trio from Star Wars, I got you. Yeah, exactly, Deej. Exactly, Deej. Exactly, Deej. Okay, yeah, the trio from Star Wars. Yeah, absolutely. They killed them off, didn't redeem them, nothing. I agree with you 100%. But with that being said, guys, check us out for the next episode. Thank you all for popping in once again. Peace. See you on the next one.
Alright, real bad man, now we people dance. We take dancing to a higher rank. We spend pound and we spend franc. Jonathan new dance and Jamaica and drunk. Yeah, on the river, on the bank. Kick out the shoes because you put them no camp. When you snake in the river, on the bank. Jonathan new dance and Jamaica and Bronx. Yeah, down the flank, we a go down the flank. Like a baller, we go down the flank. You're cheap, pretty young, get in your tank.